Hi everyone. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about humility. This is something that I've been working on the last, I would say, week or so. I mean, I've been working on it for actually a year in a pretty deep way. And but the last 2 days ago, I got this like really deep understanding of something. A piece landed for me, and I wanted to bring all of these pieces together that I've shot in the last many videos. I want just to bring all these little pieces from all these little all these different videos together that ties in with this latest piece about humility that I've learned. So in the by mid July or end of July or something, I'm going to be shooting a free course, free for the duration of the course, and then it'll become a paid course afterwards. And that is on shifting out of limiting beliefs and identities. And it's going to be a 3-part course on that. And I was thinking, I've not decided yet, but I was thinking that maybe afterwards I'll do my next course would be potentially on humility, because I've been thinking about it so much, and I feel like it is a very strong, necessary piece for us to actually gain confidence and gain self-love is humility, and the ability to accept that we are not where we want to be. That's humility. Is to be okay with where we are. Deep, deep, deep levels of self-acceptance and self-love for where we are, and understanding that, yeah, that I am not the best, because that's where the ego comes in. So yeah, I'll be talking about that, but like I'm gonna talk about this little piece right now. So I have been on this process of, I'm going to use an example to express the humility, to explain this humility. So I've been on a process for the last 7 years of switching out thoughts from whenever the thoughts are negative or self-judgmental or other judgmental even, or any thoughts that are negative. I want this person to like me, I want that person to approve, I want this validation. This person said something bad to me, which means, like, it hurts me because this person said something bad to me, and that's not good. That's no good. I mean, if the person said something bad to me, I am going to be hurt. And why exactly is that? Yeah, when you start to think about it and break it down, like, how does it matter if somebody said something about us that is not good? But it hurts us. It hurts us immensely, and the reason is because we are afraid that it might be true. So it's not really that person's fault, it's our fault. So we're being weak, and so that's okay for us to be where we are and to be weak, and to not be surrounding ourselves with people who may make us feel weaker. But the understanding is, the idea is to really deeply understand that it is not that person who is making us weak. It is our own belief that is a weak belief about ourselves. So and we have to work on that. So instead of focusing all of our energy on being upset with that person, we can focus all of our energy on healing ourselves, and it actually works. That self-healing actually works. Okay, so what I've been doing is this thought switching thing, and lately I've been having this. I mean, not lately, all my life, basically, my entire life, I've been having. I would be fixated on one thing. I usually am fixated on one thing, one thought, recurring thought. And I'd be like trying to switch that out. So I have been fixating on this one thought, as I usually do, and so earlier what would happen is that, okay, so another piece. So I had gone to this meditation class about maybe 6 months ago or something. It hadn't resonated with me because I don't resonate with the regular meditation that people do, because I do this mantra meditation, which is more, a regular meditation is about bringing the body and the mind into alignment. We're focusing on something, our breath or candle or something, whatever it is we're focusing on. And the meditation that I do is bringing the body, mind, and heart into alignment. And the heart means, like, I'm working on loving God. So I'm working on bringing my heart to God. So so I add that piece of the heart in my meditations, and what I focus on is God as well. So the focus of the mind is not on the breath but on God. So that's a very anyway. So I went to this normal meditation, and I didn't resonate very much, but there was one piece which was phenomenal in that. And that was that there are three stages to meditation. The first stage is when you're focused, when you're absolutely focused and you're not thinking about anything else except whatever you're thinking of, the breath or God or whatever. The second stage is when you lose focus and your mind wanders and you start thinking about something else. And the third stage is when you bring the mind back. And what this person said is that the most important stage is not the first stage where we feel that the most important stage is for us to stay focused. I stayed focused for 30 minutes. That's a lot. I'm not saying everybody can do that, but that's great, right? To be able to stay focused for 30 minutes. But that's not the most important part. The most important part is when you bring yourself back, even if you're only focused for 10 seconds. So what was happening with me last night is I would focus, and 10 seconds later I would find myself thinking about the same thought again, and then I would bring myself back. And then 10 seconds again, I would find myself thinking about the same thought again, and I would bring myself back. So the most important part is not that I only lasted 10 seconds or whatever it is that I lasted. The most important part is that I brought myself back, and I got to understand that in a deeper way last night. I did understand that before as well, but I would get frustrated, and after a while it's exhausting. This work is exhausting. Controlling the mind is not easy. My goodness. I think it's more difficult than climbing Mount Everest. Now, I've never climbed Mount Everest, so I don't know how difficult that is. But from what I've heard, it's very, 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 very difficult, and it is difficult. My goodness. But what would happen is I would do that for a little bit, and then I would get frustrated and I would get exhausted, and I'd be like, okay, I need to give myself a break because this is hard work, and I would just allow my thoughts to roam free, completely random. And then I would come back to it after a while. So it's kind of like trying to do all day meditation. Of course, like I would lose hours, many hours before I would suddenly remember. But every time I would catch myself thinking that negative thought, then I would bring myself back. And so, yeah, all day long meditation. But now it's becoming easier. And the question is, what is making it easier, right? So this is the piece that I'm going to add to this. So yeah, last night it was easier. I just kept doing it. And so one other piece is relentlessly. I read this word relentlessly in a book that I'm reading. It's called The Living Name. It's amazing. And they were talking about this mantra meditation, and you bring your mind back relentlessly. So I have put an upper limit. The other piece is that I've put an upper limit for myself for 3 million or 30 million times. It doesn't matter if I have to do, people say you can do things 100 times or 3,000 times or whatever times. For me, I've put such a huge limit, like 30 million times if I have to do, and I keep doing and I still don't succeed and I still keep failing, but I will still do it, and I will not call myself, I will not give up until I've done 30 million times. And I'm just putting a number, and I'll never give up. It's not that I'll give up after 30 million times. But I'm just putting a high enough number. I'm putting a limit to my limiting belief. So yeah, so that's relentlessly is one of the pieces. I kept saying relentlessly, and then I kept reminding myself that the most important part is bringing myself back, because that's like failure. It's like the most important part is not that you're succeeding in a like straight up path, perfection path. The most important part is that when you fail, you bring yourself back up. That's what this is, the meditation. The most important part is when your mind wanders, you bring it back. So I kept saying that, like, I'm doing good, I'm doing great. I was just encouraging myself, I'm doing great by bringing it back. And I'm going to be doing this relentlessly, and I'm going to be doing this 30 million times if I have to. I'm not going to ever give up. And this is just a part of my process. This is a part of my life now. So yeah, so all of those things helped, plus the fact that I've been practicing, of course, that helped. But then there was one more piece to it that really helped. And this is going to be something that you can replace it with whatever you want. So when I bring myself back, my thought is, dear God, you can replace it with universe or life or whatever, or however it feels good to you. But I say Krishna. So I'm going to use the word Krishna, but you can replace it with whatever. So dear Krishna, please help me feel your shelter and feel your love. Now, there's a specific thing to this, why I'm saying this, why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm not saying, so intellectually, I know that God loves me. I know that. Like, I know that from the brain, but my heart doesn't know that. So, intellect. So I'm not saying please give me your shelter and give me your love, because I know that He is giving me shelter and He is giving me love. The fact that I'm able to breathe, and I'm able to eat, and every step, every breath, I am completely helplessly dependent on God, on nature, on God. So I know that He loves me, but my heart doesn't know it. And the reason I know that my heart doesn't know it is because I feel anxious. And every time I'm feeling anxious, it's because I don't know. My body doesn't know it. My heart doesn't know it. So I am trying to seek shelter in externals. I'm trying to seek shelter in money, or maybe good health, or maybe good relationships, or maybe people, or whatever. I'm trying to seek shelter in this world instead of seeking shelter in God. So, so that is my belief. You don't have to, of course, believe that. But whenever I feel like, I believe that whenever I feel anxious, it is because I am trying to control things. I'm trying to seek shelter. I'm trying to be secure in the world around me, rather than being secure in the fact that God loves me and He's going to take care of me no matter what, right? No matter what happens, even if, all kinds of health issues happen, no matter, even in that case, always. So, so that's why I don't say, God, please give me your shelter and love. I say, God, please help me feel your shelter and love. So around 3 weeks ago or something, I had this dark night of the soul night where I was crying the whole night, and I was just continuously all night long saying, God, please help me feel your shelter and love. This is where this phrase got coined, was about 3 weeks ago. I just kept saying, God, please help me feel your shelter and love. God, please help me. Krishna, please help me feel your shelter and love. So I kept saying that. Now, the piece of humility that I was able to add to it from 2 days ago. So what happened is, me and my friend heard this lecture from this wonderful lady 2 days ago, and she talked about humility, and she talked about this, like, I humbly request you. She said that. But I didn't register it. My friend registered it. And she talked about it afterwards, and that got it to register for me. So this is what God does, right? This is what Krishna does. I had a piece of understanding land for me about 3 weeks ago, where now, for the last 3 weeks, that's what I've been doing. Every time I'm thought switching, I'm saying, Krishna, please help me feel your shelter and your love. And I'm wearing these tulsi beads, so I'm touching that that's why I touched it right now. But I'm touching that every time, because that represents my connection with Krishna. So it's become my anchor point, and it's been great. So the last 3 weeks I've been doing that. And now what she added, so Krishna knew that I've gotten that piece. Now he wanted me to get the next piece. So he sent this lecturer to give me that piece, and I didn't get it. So then he sent my friend to make sure to drill it into me so that I would get that piece. And then I got it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you're amazing. Thank you. So, but okay, so what is this piece? This piece is now, then last night I managed to understand it, that piece, and that is that instead of saying, please, 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 I'm begging you, please, please, please help me feel your shelter and love. Please help me remove all these thoughts from my head that I don't want, all these negative thoughts, like I'm not good enough, or I'm this, I'm bad, I'm like all of these thoughts that are just holding me back, and I'm not even able to do anything. I'm not able to, like, all of these, like, please help me remove all of those. So yeah, that's great, that's wonderful. And then what I'm adding is, I humbly request you, Krishna, I humbly request you to help me feel your shelter and love. I humbly request you to remove these thoughts from my head. Wow, okay, I'm gonna breathe, slow down, and let this land. Do this exercise, do this, and think and feel into it. God, or whatever, universe, or whatever, Krishna for me, I humbly request you to help me feel your shelter and love. I humbly request you to remove these thoughts that I'm having. I humbly request you to remove these bad feelings I'm having of envy or anger or resentment. I humbly request you to do that. Feel into that. Feel into the way it changes things. This is humility. Humility is saying, I am powerless. I am completely powerless. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to remove this. I don't know how to remove this. Please help me. I humbly ask you. I'm not ordering you to do this. I'm humbly asking you. Now, the way I was saying it earlier, please, I beg you, please remove it, please remove it, please remove it, please remove it, please remove these thoughts, please remove these emotions, like not good thoughts, not good emotions. Please, I was doing that, and that's great. But there was still some kind of like, please, please, please do this for me, please do this for me, please do this for me. I'm like kind of putting pressure on God, please do this for me. Now, when I'm saying, I humbly request you to do this, then I'm reducing the amount of pressure I'm putting on God. I wasn't ordering, I was still begging, but there was still pressure. And in this case now, I'm reducing the pressure. I'm saying, I humbly request you. If you feel that it's right for me, if you feel that it's the right time for me, I humbly request you. I'm not adding that if you feel that it's the right time for me piece. I've heard that also from someone before. But I'm just saying, I humbly request you. But I think I'll think about it more and see if I want to add that. But that's humility, because humility allows you to accept and understand where you are right now. And when you understand and accept where you are right now, then you're able to switch out of it in a much more effective way. Then you're able to address it. And then you're able to move through it and move past it. Otherwise, if you're holding on to like, no, I don't have this problem, of course you're not going to be able to move past it, right? You have to first admit that you have a problem and really admit that you're powerless and fixing it also. You have to admit that you need higher power in order to address this, to help you address this. Because, yeah. Okay. So that's it for this video. I wish you a day filled with lots and lots of genuine humility that brings you confidence and growth. And wish you a deeper understanding. I hope I hope all of these videos are able to help you make progress, because as I'm making progress, I just want to lift you up along with me, and I hope you're able to. I hope it's helping. If it's helping me to do this. I'm loving watching my own videos. I'm really loving watching my own videos again and again. So I do that, and that's helping me. So yeah, wish you a day filled with lots of growth. Radhe Radhe.